Hi everybody, this is Hero with the Birds back with another Shadowlands video. Hope you guys are all enjoying launch as much as I am. I just wanted to make a brief video for those of you who are getting into Mythic Dungeons in this first week, and maybe you're either working with a Holy Paladin or you are a Holy Paladin and you'd like some tips. Mostly I want to focus a very brief video on the use of Beacon of Virtue, the talent. I think this is a slept on talent for a couple of reasons. One of them is that many of the dungeons right now are very difficult and there's a lot of burst damage going out, either because your members of your party are not quite sure of the mechanics or because you're very undergeared. You can see here I'm 162 gear, but we managed to complete a number of Mythics dungeons and grab a bit of loot. So far, I think I've got about 3 pieces of gear from our Mythics, so I've been pretty lucky in this first week and also managed to grab an interesting ring. The point is, a lot of people are going to be struggling in these early days in Mythics, and I want to try to help you with that. I think Beacon of Virtue, which is a talent that often gets overlooked in the game because we have Glimmer showing up as a really profound and powerful tool for us, and people are just not really used to playing with Beacon of Virtue. So I'd like to show you a very brief clip of a build that works for the Light of Martyr build. It's basically your melee paladin, and in Mythic Plus we just substitute in Beacon of Virtue. You could also use other things like Holy Avenger as well to help beef up your spell casts, but I just wanted to encourage you guys that Holy Paladin actually has an insane amount of burst, especially as you will see in the video with the use of Divine Toll. So one of the advantages of Beacon of Virtue is you are essentially getting the same amount of value as your normal Beacon of Light. It's just turned into a CD. And so you get the 50% bonus of all healing you do onto other targets, and this includes any of the beacon targets that you hit. So it will put 4 beacons on your party members. If you cast a spell on one of those beacon targets, it will be duplicated to the other beacons. This means that you can flash of light if you needed to on one of the beacon targets, and all of the beacon targets would get that healing as well as you building up holy power. But I think the more important rhythm you need to get into is building up to 5 holy power for burst windows, using Virtue, and then doing a quick combo of Word of Glory, Holy Shock, Word of Glory. And I'll show you in the video just a very brief idea and also a little bonus with Divine Toll. Let's bring it up right now, and then we'll get going. So you can see here's High Adjudicator Elise. This is a good dungeon to showcase the use of Virtue because there's an ad that spawns and it deals a lot of damage to your party as it moves through all of your members to one of these pillars. So as a Holy Paladin, I have this moment, so I'm getting fixated where I know a bunch of my members are going to get hit, and traditionally Holy Paladin's going to struggle because you can't really point your your Light of Dawn in the right direction to hit all the members who are getting hit, and you'll have to individually Word of Glory people to bring them up, especially if you get a mechanic. But just as you saw there, and here we have it again, this burst window, your Virtue's up and you can just press, in this case Divine Toll, to completely top everybody, and you can press Word of Glory, Holy Shock, Word of Glory to do the same kind of work. If you had Holy Avenger, you could do that where you just slap Holy Shock and then you could go back and forth between Crusader Strike, Word of Glory, Crusader Strike, Word of Glory. This build works, guys, with really low amounts of haste, and it's just really an excellent tool for getting you out of a jam. You can see here the cooldown on Beacon of Virtue is really low. It has 15 seconds between uses, so you can see you can get into a bit of trouble. You can pop Beacon of Virtue, you can hit Holy Shock, Word of Glory, and then top your party off. Usually, if you're even unprepared and at 0 stacks of Holy Power, you can still get off 2 or 3 major spells to help top your group, and you can just keep cycling it. In a dungeon setting, this is amazing because, as you see my mana on the left of my bar, still at 93% mana, you'll have all the time in the world to get mana back, and with the new Prideful affix, you're going to have a lot of mana coming back to you naturally, so you don't really need to worry about the downside of casting a beacon all the time. But I just wanted to dispel for you any concern people have with using Beacon of Virtue, that you don't have the GCDs to fill up uses. I've done a bunch of the Mythic dungeons so far, and I'm really undergeared Holy Paladin, and I can tell you from experience that even this early in the expansion, Beacon of Virtue is really strong. Just as this is finishing up, I want to just show you a breakdown of what your bars should look like as a result. You're going to see something like this in your details breakdown, where Beacon of Light is far ahead of all of the other spellcasts, and this is in part due to the way in which Divine Toll interacts with Beacon of Light. So if you toll a target, especially if you've got the conduit that's going to have a percentage chance to add more, if you virtue into toll, as you saw on that pull of Elise, you will get all of those holy shocks converted into each of the beacon targets, and then if the holy shocks recur on whoever you targeted with Divine Toll, it will also proc on your beacon targets. But the real benefit of using this, because obviously Divine Toll has great synergy with Glimmer, but the real benefit of using Virtue alongside Divine Toll is after you've told everybody, you have 5 holy power to press an immediate Word of Glory. So in a lot of burst situations like Mordretha and in this one too, you can see here there's a lot of moments where you need to top everybody immediately and then Divine Toll, and then Word of Glory right afterwards to hit the entire group as well. So you can Light of Dawn, but of course that's positionally dubious sometimes in dungeons. I just find this combo of Virtue into Toll is a lifesaver. It's an immediate top for your entire group. It's a get out of jail free card. And then you have on top of it 3 or 4 seconds to Word of Glory and Holy Shock to deal with any aftermath after you've topped everybody. Again, I've been completing some Mythic dungeons in this first week. This is completely viable, and I think this is actually the strongest version of your dungeon Holy Paladin to take Beacon of Virtue and put it together with Toll. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you again next time.